Hi YouTube. Today we're going to break down the cost of our build from the electrical to the plumbing and etc. But before we get into it, please subscribe and hit the notification bell and
like the video
and hit the thumbs up button.
and comment if you have any questions. Thanks so much. We really wanted to do this whole YouTube channel documenting our builds because there was very little information when we were looking to build a house about cost and just the general process of having it done from a piece of land that had no septic on it, basically. And we just wanted to make sure we were getting a good deal. So we're giving you the guys this information so that you can have a bit more info going into a build than we did. So our overall cost for the whole build is $293,000, and we decided to pick and choose what we had the builders do in order to save on costs. Also because we're pretty confident in our skills in being able to finish the majority of the interior of the house. So Pat's going to give you a little quick breakdown about the individual costs of what that number is.
Yep. So the breakdown for electrical is $10,200.
Just a little side note, we already had electricity brought to the property. So from the pole down to a builder's box, it was only a couple of meters, I'd say, about 5 meters or so, but that cost about $5,000. So that would be an additional cost if you had zero electricity to the property. And I know a pole itself cost about $20,000.
Yeah,
so,
we had a pole already.
Yeah.
All we needed was to get it from the pole to the property, and we did that, and then now we're getting it from the builder's box to the house.
Yeah.
So 10 grand including all the wiring in the house, the cable from the builder's box to the house, and all the fit off.
Yeah.
So the plumbing is $10,700, and that includes connect to the main water feed, so from the street to the house, all the in-wall plumbing, and there's no allowance for a final fit off. So basically everything except for fitting off like the sink and fitting off the
dishwasher or the shower, stuff like that. So when we designed the house, we wanted to make sure that all of our piping was as centrally located as possible, which is why our kitchen and our bathroom are right next to each other. So we're not going to have plumbing where we are into the office. We're not going to have plumbing going throughout the house, and so that is why we were able to keep the cost down a lot.
Yeah. The gas fitter, so that's $4,500, and that includes the gas califont, the instant heater, and that also includes all the fittings and fit off and completed all the way to the wall, basically, so we could just connect our oven. So septic design was $600, so that was just for the design to be submitted, and then the actual work cost is $16,400 to have the whole septic system installed and complete. So there's also a cost on here to install fall water and stormwater, which is another $5,500. So there's also comments on here that says supply water tank to house. We already have two 1,100 liter water tanks, so he zeroed that out. And there's also one that says supply water pump and hook to water tanks, which is already done. We might have to shift the pump from where it is now to closer to the house, but we'll work that out later. Then there's another cost for $9,000, which is for the timber balustrade to the deck and allowance for stairs in the northeast side of the build.
So the stairs are going to be actually quite big and quite robust because we are pretty high off the ground. We also mentioned in our first video of the series that we decided to not go for a glass balustrade, instead a wooden balustrade, which is saving us about $10,000.
So we had a few changes made in early stages for the main door in the front, and some other, we added a window to the bathroom. There's a frosted window in there now. So those changes cost $2,600.
But it's really key to make those changes before your consents are applied for, because that is the #1 biggest holdup. It's not the builders, it's not the weather. The biggest holdup for a build is the owners changing their minds, because then you have to start from square one again. So it's really important that you're sure and finalized on your design before you submit that.
So the last and final cost here is the builder is supplying and install flooring. It's the Quick Step Creo Charlotte Oak Brown flooring, and it's supposed to be really, really durable and really hard wearing flooring.
Sorry, go ahead.
And that is going to cost us $10,000.
Yeah, we were going to install it ourselves, and then we tried to get a quote for the area that we wanted the wood to be in, and decided that it would be better and more efficient just to have the builder install it, and he gave us a really good deal, cheaper than what we could have gotten from like a flooring direct or flooring extra or whatever.
And so that flooring will also be throughout the whole house. There'll be no carpet. We'll have area rugs.
Yeah.
And the bathroom will be tile. So the only cost that I haven't included in here is the cost of the tiling, which we're going to have a separate contractor do.
Yeah. Because we know that there will be some delays with the build. We know that the septic will probably go in quite late. So the bathroom probably will be the last thing that gets finished. But luckily enough, we do have a bathroom on this property, and we're still living in the tiny house. So we'll just have to play it by ear. But we're in no rush, which honestly I think is the best way to build a house.
So obviously, if you've been doing the math, keeping up with me here, that wouldn't amount to $293,000. Obviously, because the rest of the work would be done by the builder.
Plus there's GST.
Does that make sense?
Those are provisional sums. So the bulk of the price is just, you know, the joist, the truss, the nails, the labor,
floor, the
timber, everything, the cladding, all that stuff.
Yeah, the labor to do all that. So that would make up the remainder of the price.
Yeah. So those are just the extras that we asked for. So far, I think we're tracking okay.
We haven't seen a variation or anything like that, so I think he's happy with the way it turned out.
Okay, I'm just gonna go really quickly over the pricing schedule. Okay, so also in the contract, this is a contract that we signed with them. The first amount that we had to give him was a 10% deposit. So that was something like $30,000, followed by 30% once consent is issued. So we actually got our consent right before lockdown here in New Zealand. So that was around, was it February or was it March?
I think it was March.
It was in March we got consent. But then we paid our 30%, which was needed after the consent is issued. Once the floor gets down, we have to pay another 30%, so that's another $88,000 or so. So
the next 30% he'll be sending an invoice through probably really soon.
Yeah, very shortly. And then we have to pay 25% once the building is clad, and then another final 5% on completion. So yeah, that is the schedule that we are working with, and he's been very consistent about his prices and very, very communicative about everything that we've been needing. And at the end of this whole build, if everything goes really well, which I'm sure it will, we'll be able to reveal the name of our builder. But so far he's been doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
And
really good.
We really, really appreciate it. So we're just not going to reveal that just now, but once we get to the end of the build, then we definitely will share that information. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you think our house is going, you know, well, if you like the design, if you don't like the design, what you would do if you were living here. Okay, cool. Thanks so much for catching us, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? You're nuts. You're nuts.